Fellas, ladies, you looking for lotions? You looking for beard oils? But unfortunately, everything you get from mainstream got chemicals in it and it's probably killing you? No problem, we got you. Go check out my people from Top to Bottom Hair and Skincare. That's Top to Bottom Hair and Skincare. www.top2bottom, BOTTU, the U is for unique, M.com. Tell them I sent you.
Yo, 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 good evening, everyone, and thank you for tuning in to another episode of Unfiltered Sports. This is your host, Shaq Mack, owner of the Delaware Dogs. We're on Unfiltered Sports. We don't care about your feelings. We're not here for the PR stunts, and we're unbiased about everything that we put on here in the show. If you like to debate, join us live. We would love to have you. Today on our show, we're going to be talking about the NBA playoffs. We're going to talk about the NHL playoffs, and we're going to be talking about some MLB as well, right? And so let's just jump right into it. We're going to actually give you a quick update too with the Delaware Dogs, because Dogs basketball is the best basketball in town right now. So with that being said, though, we've hit the off season running, and it just hasn't stopped. Last year we won our division, we were Red Division champs. This year we moved into a higher caliber division. That's going to allow us to play at a more competitive level, to bring better basketball to our home venue, and it's going to allow us to travel a little bit more. So we're going to be traveling into Connecticut. We're going to be traveling to Virginia. We're going to be traveling to New York. We're going to be traveling this year, and it's going to be fun, and we're going to have fun doing it as well. We also have been just hitting the ground running with signing new players. We signed about 14 players already. As I already mentioned, we do have a development team. That development team is going to allow us to bring in potential prospects for the Dogs. In case we don't have enough players, we can call up players from our development team. They're going to be playing their own season as well, doing things like that. But we're going to be putting players on a two-way contract. We're going to be allowing players to, play at the potential that they can play at. Now, the good thing about that, though, is that we got players from all over, and there may be a game where a player can't go up to Connecticut, or a game where a player can't go down to Virginia, but they can stay local and play a game. We will send them down and play in that league or whatever with the development team, and give them their, still their repetition, different things like that. So I'm excited for this opportunity. But the first ever women's pro basketball team has come to Wilmington, Delaware. The Delaware Lady Dogs season opener is July 5th. All good things are happening right now with the ladies dogs and everything along those lines. When I tell you that we got some really good talent that's coming out for the Lady Dogs tryouts, I mean, really good talent. We are able to pretty much secure our 15 player roster, to allow for us to rotate players consistently and in and out the game. And we do it to a point where they can actually get enough playing time and allow them to allow them to get into a flow of things, allow them to build that chemistry, allow them to really play the basketball that they know how to play. And so I'm really excited for those Lady Dogs. July 5th, we'll be bringing back more games to the YouTube channel here on the OG network, as well as Dogs basketball. And so, like I said, I'm really excited for that opportunity. Dogs basketball, actually, we got a preseason game this Friday night at 7 p.m., and we'll be playing in Burlington, New Jersey. And so that's going to be a 7 o'clock game, 7 at night. I'm going to do my best to try to get the camera up and going for that game. I'm going to see if we can get somebody there just to stream it for us. That way we can have everything flowing as a real professional game. So like I said, I'm excited for this opportunity here, and we're just going to have fun, playing these preseason games. And then June, not January, but June 6th, we'll have another preseason game, and that's going to allow us to kind of move into that opportunity there, where they'll be able to play a team up in New York, and that team up in New York is ready for us and their first year team. But they asked us to come up and scrimmage them, not scrimmage, but again play a preseason game. So I always call them scrimmages, but they're actual games as well. But yeah, we'll be playing them, and we'll be getting our rotations correct. We'll be focusing on bigger things, better things, whatever it may be. But dogs basketball is on the uprise, from the Lady Dogs to the Delaware Dogs to our development team, as well as in the works the junior dogs. But like I said, I'm very excited for everything that's happening within the organization in itself. When we talking about basketball and playoffs in general, right? Everybody has seen what has happened in the NBA playoffs. We look at we're going to talk about the East Coast first, right? In the East Coast playoffs, because we we turned around and we saw that the Pistons and the Knicks are playing a very good series right now. I'm like, oh my goodness, it is tied 2-2 right now. They're going back and forth with each other, and I honestly think that the way the Cavaliers are playing right now, the Cavaliers will pull the upset off, and then they will go to the Eastern Conference Finals and play the Villanova Knicks. On the flip side, though, the Villanova Knicks came out heavy hitting. They, it was like a Tyson versus Holyfield matchup in there, and they beat down on the Philadelphia 76ers, swept them, brought the brooms out 4-0. There was no hope in Philadelphia, and the clock struck midnight early. Joel Embiid was worried about the wrong things. He wasn't playing good basketball at all. He was very slow getting up and down the court. He just needed to sit it out. And honestly, the Sixers played a lot better with him not on the court. So that tells you a lot right there. Thank you to everybody for tuning into the chat. Really appreciate you guys for the support. Make sure you guys, if you haven't already, hit that like and subscribe button. It really means a lot to us here. And so, I'm upset. I'm a Sixers fan, but they did their best. It's been 25 years since the Sixers have made it out of the semifinals. 25 years. The last time they made it out the semifinals and went to the NBA finals was 2001, when they played the Lakers in the NBA finals. And Iverson um, hit that crossover on Tyronn Lue, stepped over, and after he hit that three. So 25 years. We talk about 2001. That's crazy. It was a very disappointing loss. But I think it's a very good learning curve for them. In my opinion, I believe the Sixers need to get rid of Nick Nurse. They need to get rid of Elton Brand, and they need to get rid of Daryl Morey, and they need to find replacements for them ASAP. Because again, we're focused on bringing in veteran players. We brought in Paul George, but what happened? We didn't make it out the second round, right? Embiid is a veteran player, but he's old. He's never really stayed healthy for playoffs. So again, you got to bring in young talent. You traded away Jared McCain for what? Like, and Embiid said he was upset that happened, but the Sixers didn't even make a splash when it came down to the trade deadline, and that was disappointing in itself. So, how do you expect to make it far in the NBA playoffs if you look at your bench and about 8 of your players play in the NBA G League? They play for the Blue Coats, or have played for a different G League team at some point. But it don't make sense. Yeah, they're young, they're uprising or whatever, but you got to have a bench that can that can go out there and make a splash. Because at the end of the day, who you had on your bench? Kyle Lowry. Like, that's probably the only no name person you got on your bench. Like, it's just a lot of work that they needed to do to advance, and it was sad. Looked like a one man team. Joel was still putting points up, which hurt. While PG, PG, uh, I don't even know what to say about PG. He really like it sucks for him because when we look at it, PG scored 15 points in the first quarter. How do you score 15 points in the first quarter and go scoreless the rest of the game? If that ain't inside gambling, I don't know what that is. I'm just saying, you score 15 points in the first quarter, you cooking, and then you stop. Nothing. I was watching some highlights of the game, and you could see where PG turned the ball over, or somebody would turn the ball over, and he would just stand there. He wasn't even running back to get on defense. That was sad. Very disappointing in itself. Um, but let's go back to the Pistons versus the Cavaliers really fast. Did anybody, I know everybody had to see this, but did anybody really catch what Donovan Mitchell did to Tobias Harris? Fans were saying they trying to go to Cancun. Yeah, they were, but they ain't go to Cancun. They went to the Schuylkill River. That's where they did. Um, but did anybody really see what happened to Tobias Harris when Donovan Mitchell crossed him over so bad that he hurt his hip? His hip. I thought that was crazy in itself, but that's needless to say here or there. But I still watch that replay over and over again because that has to go up there with the Iverson crossover on Tyronn Lue, and he hits the three and steps over him. I think that goes up there with that. Do you think the Knicks can match up better against OKC? So here's what I'm gonna tell you right about this playoffs. I think that if it's a big if the Pistons lose to the Cavaliers, the Knicks will beat the Cavaliers, and then the Knicks will go into the finals. And depending on who win out of the Spurs and the Timberwolves, I think that I don't even think the Thunder will. I don't think the Thunder will beat the Timberwolves. They're playing hungry, more aggressive. Ant Man's back. I think, honestly speaking, if it's obviously it's going to be either the Thunder or the Timberwolves that make it to the finals here, but that series is tied in itself 2-2. I think that the Timberwolves they shock the Spurs. They play against the Thunder, and if the Thunder don't make it back, I think that the Knicks will win the finals. Now, if the Thunder do make it back to the finals, I think the Thunder will actually beat the Knicks in the finals. Now, don't get me wrong. The thing that I like about the New York Knicks, right, is that these three guys played together already before in college. It's not college. I get it. I understand it. But they have the mindset and they know what it takes to win a championship game under pressure. In 2016, what happened? They won. 2018, what happened? They won. They won two national championships in 3 years. That's Jalen Brunson, Josh Hart, and Mikal Bridges. Right? Two of them were on both the 2016 team and the 2018, and then one of them was only on the 2016 team. I believe it was Josh Hart that was the only one on the 2016 team. The other two played 2016 and 18. But that's needless to say, though, is that they're already in that mindset that they can win it. And as much as I hate to say this, I think New York Knicks, if they make it to the finals, will win it all because they're playing better basketball overall. They're going to match up. It's not better. They're going to the matchup is going to be crazy. You got to worry about Cat shooting a three. You got to worry about Cat attacking the basket. You got to worry about Jalen Brunson attacking the basket. You got to worry about him stepping back and shooting a three. You got to worry about Josh Hart grabbing rebounds, attacking the basket, shooting a three. The same thing with Mikal Bridges. Like they're more than just a they're more than just a one-sided team. Like they can play defense, they can play two-way basketball, they can grab rebounds. They're it's just not Carl Anthony trying to do everything by himself. It's not Josh Hart. It's not Mikal Bridges. It's not Jalen Brunson. They're playing smart basketball. What I would love to have seen though is that I would have loved to see Dante DiVincenzo stay with the Knicks, I would have kept the Villanova Knicks together, and I would have let them rock out the way it was. Um, Underestimating the Thunder, I don't think I'm underestimating them. I know that the talent that they have, but you got to look at it. You got Ant-Man who's hungry. They've been in this situation before. I think, like I said, I think that the Thunder could upset the Spurs, and literally would a you know they could beat the Thunder. The Timberwolves upset the Spurs, and they could beat the Thunder and send them right into the finals. But again, this is where it becomes very tricky because of the fact that the Thunder had swept the Lakers. They got more time to rest, they got more time to recover, they got more time to practice and prepare for this next series. So that's where it's going to become a little tricky because whoever plays them is going to face the same thing that happened to the Sixers, which is a challenge because the Sixers went right from game 7 to game 1 of the next series, and they got blown out. Blown out. Simple. It happens. But like I said, I believe that if the Timberwolves make it, I think the Timberwolves can upset the Thunder and go to the finals. Ben here in the chat said that the Golden State Warriors would have done better. They would have done better. They could have done better because they had the opportunity in the play-in game, and what happened? They lost. So it don't even matter. They didn't even make it that far in the playoffs. So better luck next year. It's good that their head coach is returning on a 2-year deal, and hopefully they can bring back some talent to help them win the championship again before that 2 years is up. But I doubt it. Um, I would love to see the Thunder versus the Knicks. It's going to be a 1 seed versus a 3 seed, but we'll see what happens. You don't see the Timberwolves beating the Thunder. Why not? Granted, I know DiVincenzo's out with his Achilles, injury, and prayers go out to him. Hope that he recovers, speedy recovery, healthy, the whole thing. I don't wish that on nobody, but let's, why not? I mean, you got Ant Man, you got Julius Randle, you got Gobert, you got Jada McDaniels. Like I said, DiVincenzo's hurt. Nas Reed. So I mean, like, what's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9? So like they got a decent squad, honestly. Like a decent squad, and I can see it. Again, I can personally see it. Like DiVincenzo's not in the picture, so it sucks because he would have been a key asset to the Timberwolves in making it that far and winning it. But think about what happened when the Nuggets were supposed to beat the Timberwolves. Even after DiVincenzo went down, even after minutes later, you had Ant-Man go down. That was 2 injuries in the same quarter. It wasn't looking good. All odds were against the Timberwolves. And what happened? They came back and they upset the Denver Nuggets. I mean, granted, the same thing happened where the Sixers upsetted the Celtics and then they lost. I see it. I understand it. But again, they have a decent squad. Like, I can see it happening. But what are the odds? The odds are slim. I'm good for the underdogs. I like the underdogs, but again, the odds are slim. I mean, yeah, but the Lakers, decent, okay, yes. Reason I say okay because I mean, LeBron's really old, so he has a little bit of juice left in the tank. Not playing at the caliber he used to play at. Luca, you got Luca. You got you got AR. Okay, but who else? Bronny James, not doing nothing. So I mean, I really didn't. I really wanted the Lakers to get swept because there's a lot of Laker fans, a lot of LeBron fans, Ben, who come on here and talk trash. And what happened? The first father son duo in NBA history to get the brooms brought out on them. Let's talk about that one. It just sent LeBron into an early retirement. That's what I think. But I think that's just talk. I think that LeBron's gonna, wait it out to see what happens with his other son, with Bryce. See if he gets his opportunity to play in the NBA, to get drafted, called up, whatever it may be. But I think he gives it 1 year with him as well, and then you kind of take it from there. But I think it's interesting for that in itself. Um, on the flip side, though, right, is that I wanted to hit on this NHL playoffs too, because that is crazy work right there. Like, I don't know what's up with Philadelphia sports in this day and age right now, but they got swept too. The Philadelphia Flyers got swept, and it was, man, I don't think it'll be a 4-0 in the playoff or in the finals, but yeah, that's all right. Let me pull up this bracket really fast for the NHL, because this has been good hockey, except for when the Flyers got swept. That's the part that I didn't like. But this next round, which is the Elite Eight or the Final Four. Yeah, it'll be the Final Four that's coming up. But because Carolina had swept the Flyers, they move in to that one spot there, and then they're waiting for the winner out of um, the Canadians and Buffalo, and so Buffalo's losing that series 2-1 right now, and they're actually playing. And then you go to the flip side where you got um, the series is 3-1, and that is, and I can't even see. Let me click on this one really fast because I can't really see. Oh, it's the Wild versus the Avalanche. Uh, Minnesota versus Colorado. So Colorado, it looks like, is up 3-1 right now. And then you go down and we look at the Anaheim Ducks and the Las Vegas Golden Knights. Now, I like this series a lot because outside of the Flyers, if there was any other team that I had to root for, it would be the Anaheim Ducks and the Vegas Golden Knights. Two very good teams, two very competitive teams, and I really wish that they would have faced off in the Final Four. Like, I think that would have been really cool to see happen in the Final Four. Like, that would have been a very good matchup. Oh, excuse me, long day. But we'll see what happens from there. I don't even know. I haven't really been following much of the NHL playoffs to really say who's going to get the playoff MVP or whatnot. But I think that this has been some great hockey that I've seen. I've seen it to where fights are breaking out, goalies fighting goalies, different things like that. Like, I think this has been a really good, hockey season. Now, I do got a friend that lives in the Carolinas that I've known since 2014, and he lives in South Carolina, but he's a Jersey Devils fan. Obviously, the Flyers beat them, swept them in the regular season, and when the Flyers lost to, the Carolina team here, nobody lived it down. Nobody lived it down, and it was a sad day for me because that's all I can hear. It's him laughing at me because another Philly team where the clock struck midnight. But it is what it is. On a good note, though, how about them Phillies? The last time I was here talking about the Phillies, we saw that the Phillies were in last place in the division. Last place. The Phillies right now are sitting tied for second place in the division. Like ever since they fired their manager, brought in this interim manager, they've won like 8 out of the last 9. Like their record is 19-22. This is like, oh my goodness. This is good baseball here. And they're actually playing right now, believe it or not, and they're beating the Boston Red Sox in Boston 2-0. But it's only the top of the third though. So still got plenty of time. And to add to the hype for the Phillies, Kyle Schwarber and Bryce Harper are leading combined the Phillies in home runs. Like that is awesome. Let me pull up their like their schedule or whatever because I could count this on my hands and see right now. Like one, two, 2-1, 2-2, 3-2, 4-2, 5-2, 6-2, 6-3, 7, 8, 9, 10, 10-4. So out of the last 14 games, they are 10-4. That is crazy. The turnaround. And they're only 9 games behind the Atlanta Braves for that number 1 spot. Now, don't get me wrong because it is still early in the season. It is still early in the season. There's 180 games or 182 games in baseball. And right now, when we look at the standings, Phillies are only, 19-22. So we're already talking about 41 games they played. So they need about another 141 more games left. So just think about it. That's a lot of baseball. One thing that I do find interesting about baseball, though, is that they'll play half of the season. Come July, it'll be, the All-Star game, All-Star weekend. And it'll be in Philadelphia, of course. Come to Citizens Bank Park, watch the AL versus the NL and watch some good baseball. But they get to draft their rookies halfway through the season. And then their rookies can turn around and play after, a certain amount of time or whatever. Like some of them might play right away. But just think, like that is crazy. Like you play half your season, you have your draft, you have the MLB draft, and then you play the second half of your season. Hey, that's wild. How do you determine who gets the number 1 draft? I guess it's by the record from last year, I guess. But that's wild. Phillies are on the road though. I'm hyped for the Phillies. I'm very excited to see how the season plays out. I have yet to be able to sit down with how busy life has been lately to watch a Phillies game. Maybe I'll be able to catch the second half of this baseball game today and see how they're actually playing and getting into it. I've always had a goal of mine that's on my bucket list is that I want to hit all stadiums, baseball stadiums, and like sit there and watch a game. That's on my bucket list. So, I've been to Citizens Bank Park before. I've been to Camden Yards in Baltimore. When I lived in Ohio, I had multiple opportunities to go to Detroit and watch a game there. Go to the Cleveland Guardians as well as the Cincinnati Reds. If I'm being honest, if I wasn't a Phillies fan, or if the Phillies isn't playing, and there's a team I had to cheer for and watch a game of, it would have to be the Cincinnati Reds or the Chicago White Sox. For whatever reason, I just well, not for whatever reason, Cincinnati Reds. I would watch their games and cheer for them mainly because of Ken Griffey Jr. when he played for them. I'm a huge Ken Griffey Jr. fan, and I was excited to see that he got to play outfield side by side with his dad, Ken Griffey Sr., for the Cincinnati Reds. And for the White Sox, I mean, I just liked them for whatever reason. Never really had a legitimate reason to just want to watch them play or whatever. But like I said, I started watching baseball in the era of you had Mike Piazza, you had Ken Griffey Jr., you had Ken Griffey Sr., you had Ichiro Suzuki, you had I think I said Mike Piazza already. I'm trying to think of you had Barry Bonds, and then you had shoot, it was the other Bonds that played for Atlanta. I think his name was Aaron Bonds. Um, yeah, I think it was Aaron Bond that played, and if I'm not mistaken, but I don't remember exactly what team San Francisco played for. It looks like. See, I don't know, but it was a great era of baseball that I watched. Even when the Phillies were somewhat decent too, where they had Chase Utley, they had Pat the Bat Burrow, they had Jimmy Rollins, Ryan Howard, they had Cole Hamels, they had Roy Halladay. They had that whole ace pitching lineup where it was just back to back to back games. It was just rotating your aces through, getting them some good solid workouts or whatever, and it was decent. And I enjoyed baseball, and that's when I watched baseball a lot. Now again, you get older, life be happening, all that good stuff, and you just gotta tone it down a little bit. And prioritize things. But I really enjoy that. Phillies baseball the most. It's hometown. Always going to root for the hometown, and take it from there. But that's kind of been, where it's at recently. Is fun. Baseball is fun. I've seen it where I personally will never do this, but to anyone who can complete this challenge at the ballpark where you get 9 hot dogs and 9 beers and 9 innings. Like that's crazy. Can you eat 9 hot dogs and drink 9 beers and finish it all in 9 innings? That means you gotta chug a beer and eat a hot dog every inning. You might be able to eat two hot dogs and chug a beer in one inning, sit out an inning, go to the next inning, chug a beer, 2 hot dogs, and keep doing. And then in that inning in between where you don't eat a hot dog, you just chug a beer and see what happens. But then again, you got to be responsible. You got to have like a designated driver there with you too to make sure you can get home safe because you can't drink and drive. It's 9 beers and 9 hot dogs. Like that's wild. Like who thought that was a good idea? First of all, like I don't know. That's besides the point, though. That's besides the point. I believe it's Chicago. Chicago, I think it was Chicago, where I think it's the White Sox too, which is ridiculous at that. They got a hot dog that's 50 feet long. Like what? Why would you want to sell a 50-foot hot dog to one person? And just think, it's going to take about 50 people to carry that one hot dog to your seat. That 150-foot hot dog ain't going to feed just you. You about to feed the whole row. It's going to go across the whole entire row that you sitting in, the whole section, is just going boom. You just break it down, chop it up. All right, break bread. Man, you about to be out there feeding the whole section. Like, yo, it's break bread like Jesus did. Take a piece of bread, take a little bit of fish. There you go. Piece of bread, take some fish. There you go. But you got a 50-foot hot dog. Who can finish a 50-foot hot dog by themselves? And it's just not a plain hot dog. It's got the works on it too. You got the relish. You got the cheese. You got they put, I think, jalapenos on it at one point. I saw somebody do. They put everything. Like, I'm like, what the heck is going on? Like, you gonna eat a 50-foot hot dog? Bro, ain't no way. How you chow down on a 50-foot hot dog though? That's mind blowing. Mind blown. It's not even 50 seats in that one row. That's wild. On a good note, though, like I mentioned earlier, though, is that the All-Star game for the MLB is coming to Philadelphia. It'll be at Citizens Bank Park in July. They'll have the FIFA World Cup at Lincoln Financial Field as well. So, it's a lot of good things coming to Philadelphia. So, if you're around, you live in Pennsylvania, you live in the Philadelphia area, go ahead and check out, July, because July's fun packed with sports. The World Cup, MLB All-Star Game. Basketball is over. Football training camp should be starting up soon as well. So, like, a lot of good stuff is happening this summer, and I'm excited for it personally. But, with that being said, though, I'm going to give you guys the rest of your night back. I want you guys to finish enjoying the MLB season. I want you guys to really, really dive into that NHL playoffs. Watch the Anaheim Ducks. Oh, sorry about that. Finish watching the NBA playoffs. Like I said, with the NBA playoffs, see who's going to finish it out strong. I personally believe that OKC and the Timberwolves will play in the Western Conference Finals. I really would love to see the Thunder, go back and win a back-to-back NBA championship. But I'm putting my Ducks on the Timberwolves to upset the Thunder in the Western Conference Finals. I'm putting my Ducks on the Villanova Knicks to go ahead and make that happen as well, to go to the finals. I think it's going to be the Timberwolves versus the Villanova Knicks. I think the Villanova Knicks win it all in 7 games. I think it's going to be a good matchup there. But again, like I said, I'm going to give you your time back. I hope you guys stay blessed. I really appreciate you guys for tuning in. And again, if you haven't already, hit that like and subscribe button. And until next time, you guys stay blessed. Let's go, Dogs.
Fellas, ladies, you looking for lotions? You looking for beard oils? But unfortunately, everything you get from mainstream got chemicals in it and it's probably killing you? No problem, we got you. Go check out my people from Top to Bottom Hair and Skincare. That's Top to Bottom Hair and Skincare. www.top2bottom, BOTTU, the U is for unique, M.com. Tell them I sent you.